I don't know what we can talk about in this nation without talking about white superiority, honestly.
Who defines the meaning of God also defines the relationship between economy and God.
African Americans spent $1.3 trillion last year, making us the 16th wealthiest nation in the world. Why have we not turned those riches into wealth to develop our community?
Peace and Black Power, family. How is everyone doing today? All right, we got a lot to cover. And we have a very exciting guest. And I see everyone was, been sitting in the waiting room waiting for us. So thank you so much for the support. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's start there first, family. I need for you guys to like this video. You need to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you are on Facebook, okay, you need to follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, I know, because we see you guys interacting and we see a lot of people here, but we know you guys flip through our pictures and say, oh, that's such a nice picture. Oh, I'm so happy such and such is coming on. But you guys don't ever like it or you don't ever follow us. So we need for you guys to like, subscribe, and share. Okay. With that said, let's just, I just want to thank everybody for your support, and not just me. Our whole team at Happy wants to thank you guys for supporting us. Please get your copy of the Happy Film at happyfilm.com right here. Okay, guys, you guys have to get a copy. If you don't have it, somebody, if you already have it, somebody that doesn't have it. So we want to make sure that, you pick up a copy for someone, or just tell them like, hey, pick up Happy. This is a really good documentary. It's 2.5 hours. And it's 30 scholars on here breaking down economics. So it's very important for you guys to get right there. You can get the DVD copy or you can get a digital download. Also, while you're on our website, it's right below happyfilm.com. You can, there's a lot of other things you can do. You can sign up for the newsletter, which is very important. We do a monthly newsletter, and in this newsletter, we have a couple of outstanding articles all the time. We have a health article that Dr.Shahrazad does from the Shrine of Mayat. She does this, like this month, she's telling us how to make a good little, pick me up drink in the morning. We have financial 101 information. We're talking about SUSUs, and we've inked a deal with the Appeal Credit Union people. And I mean, it's the first Black national credit union. So it's very important that you guys support them as well. But they write an article for us every month now, going over some financial 101 news. We always support Black businesses, and we have a list of really, really cool Black people who are selling stuff on there. So every month we not only showcase them on our social media on Fridays, but we also do it in a newsletter. And then we always talk about a financial innovator, someone who has laid the foundation for us to be here right now. So it's very important that you guys sign up for the newsletter, and you go to happyfilm.com. Now, having said that, supporting Black Black entities, we now have our store up at Happy. And so you can not only get the DVD, but we have a lot of T-shirts, we have posters, and I'm wearing one right now. This happens to be my favorite one, the Nubia shirt. Like, come on, it's all about supporting Black folks so we can keep our dollars in our community. So please make sure you go to Happy Film, get and pick that up. Now, the Happy on Happy series that we did with Anthony Browder. Listen, if you haven't seen it, he's dropping so many jewels. You got to go see it. Just if you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, then you automatically, saw when we posted it. But if you're not, this is a good reason why you have to sign up. Go on to YouTube, follow us, but check out the Happy on Happy special series that we did. We went to Kemet and we sat down on the Happy with Anthony Browder, and he dropped a lot of really good stuff. Now, our Happy Talks, we got some really good people coming up. we got the bomb woman here tonight, but we also have next week, we have Dr. Wade Nobles. He's also in the Hoppy movie. He's coming on Thursday. And then the following week, we have Dr. Runoko Rashidi talking about our presence in the Nile Valley civilization. So please go check him. Make sure that you are signed up. That way, as soon as we start, you know. And last but not least, our super chat, guys. Got to get in the super chat. Every time you guys donate money to us, we actually put it right back into the community. And so it's really important that if you like what you're hearing, actually, even if you don't like what you're hearing, you should still donate so that we can keep on bringing information to the community. And so you can go to our Cash App, which is Happy Film, and I'll put it up here for you guys to check it out. But you want to go to our Happy Film, $ Happy Film, to donate money so that we can keep our money in our community. Okay. Now, I don't even know how to introduce this young woman. So I'm not going to even try, but I will just say her name, Miss Shahrazad Ali. Hello.
Hey.
All right. I was telling everyone, well, no, I was telling you, but I'll tell everyone that you look so regal in your red. Looks very nice.
Well, thank you. All of the colors belong to us, and so I can wear any of them just like you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. I got my red lipstick on. All right. So, before we get started, let's just start a little bit. Just tell us a little bit about you.
Like what?
Well, this is where you come from. What you doing now? Just a little bit something. Just a little something for me.
I'm from Atlanta by way of Cincinnati, and I ended up in Philadelphia. And I wrote my first book, How Not to Eat Pork or Life Without the Pig, in 1985. And I went out to take it around, and I would take the microscope and I would show people how the worm looked in the pork meat and that you couldn't kill it with cooking it, because they always told us as long as you cooked it well done, it would kill the parasite. And I was showing people how it looked in the brain and in the knees and how it caused so many problems that we have. And it's certainly, eating pork has caused a behavior problem, because many of us are running around acting like wild pigs, wild boars. And so I recognize that. But the one thing I noticed in my audiences, and I was going around the country then, I was new to it, things, and that was that a lot of the men understood what I was saying. They accepted that truth, and they were talking about they wasn't going to eat it and change their diet and stuff. But it was the sisters who were saying, I'm not changing what I cook. You're going to eat what I cook anyway. And hey, my grandmama been eating it for 100 years, all this kind of nonsense. And so as I listened to that, I began to think, well, now if we are withholding the proper food from our Black men, and food is what sustains life, then what else are we withholding that affects his ability to survive from us? And that's how I started doing the research on the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. And as they say, the rest is history. Then I wrote the Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. And I wrote Are You Still a Slave?, which is a test book where you take 2 tests and you determine how much of a slave are you still acting like, even without a slave master. Because most of us think we have overcome that, but our behavior says something else. And then I wrote Things Your Parents Should Know. I wrote Urban Survival, which is a book on how to live in your home, or how to make it on the streets or without electricity, or how to deal with your food and your waste and things like that. And then I did Things Your Parents Should Have Told You, which is an excellent book if you have a child or even for yourself, that tells you things that many adults have withheld from their children. And so many of our children have gotten killed in the streets by white police and other white people who hate them because we didn't tell our children the truth. And so they just defenseless out there because they don't know who the enemy is, because we didn't tell them, because we didn't want to keep them from getting a job. And we thought that, having certain ideas would prevent them from that. And we thought it was too heavy for them and too, much information, but that has cost us. And so this book tells them a lot of basic information they need to know about surviving in America.
Wow. Okay. So I'm just going to take you back just a little bit before we go there. So when you were younger, were you always like a writer, or did you just think, oh, okay, I can't, I love writing, I'm just going to do this, or did you just write out of necessity?
No, I knew that I was going to do something with books. Now, the way
Okay.
I knew that is that even when I was a little girl, I was just mesmerized by books. I would go in the library and just walk down the aisles, rubbing my hands, touching all the books. I would open them and see how they were made. I would take them apart. So I knew, I felt I was going to do, but I didn't know what I was going to do with a book. But I knew I liked books. I liked how they were, and I saw the books differently. My books are not just run of the mill page after page of writing, because I saw the book and I see a book as a canvas. And you can put anything on that canvas you want to, pictures, names, anything. And so I did mine differently because I wanted to be able to really express myself on the paper of the book. But no, I knew I was going to do something with books, but I was very poor and that was very far away. And so I think I used to go into the books in order to survive, to get ideas, to read about other places and do things. So I always knew I was going to do something with a book, but I didn't know. And then after my first husband died, I was sitting at the desk one day, and I was sitting at the desk and I was broke and we had spent the money and I was trying to figure out what would I do. I didn't have anything, but my teacher always said, you have to make something out of nothing. And I looked at my desk and I didn't have anything but a ream of paper and an old Olivet typewriter.
Oh,
and that's what I used. Yeah, I didn't even do it on a computer. We didn't have no computer there,
Wow. No. I'm laughing because I actually know what that is.
Yes.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
So, that was kind of it. And then I started, of course, traveling. My children had got big enough for me to be able to do that. And I could leave them with some other sisters. And I would travel and go out and try to teach. And that's what I felt I should do. Now, let me say this. God didn't call me. I didn't get no revelation from God. Okay. I called me. And I decided this is what I wanted to do. God don't need no help. See, but I decided I wanted to do this out of my affection for our people and the poor condition that we are in and that we continue to be in today. It's just a more modern time and things have changed. But change doesn't always mean better. Change just means different. And so things are different now, but we are still subjected to the same type of evil by these other people that we were, 30 years ago when I first came out here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So in terms of the you touched a little bit about it, but what inspired you to write The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman and the Black man?
I just explained that. I went out and I saw how people were talking.
I know, but you gotta you gotta give us some more. Okay. I know you listen, wait. Let me just take a little pause here. Let me tell you, you guys, I called this sister and I said, okay, hey, what do you guys want to talk about? I was asking her, I was like, what do you want to talk about and everything? And so, because I was like, we hear, there's lots of videos of you out there. So she started to tell me what she wanted to talk about. And then I was telling her, well, we're going to talk about blah, blah, blah. She's like, then why you ask me? So yes, I tell you, this is like straight auntie all the way. So I'm so sorry, but I want you to go in more deeper. Maybe that should have been my question. Like what, what was
it's not really about me. See, I don't want to get lost in that because it's not really about me. It's about us and our pitiful condition and the things we are trying to do and the things we are refusing to do in order to make our lives better. And I did a great deal of research. Everybody can do the research in their own house, in their own family, because all of us suffer from the same things while we think we're different. We're not different. I've had people say, you must live in the house with me. I know you must know my people. But I don't. But I know our condition from looking at many of us, talking to many of us, our men and our women and our children, our gays, our lesbians. I've talked to a bunch of us from coast to coast to find out some of what's on their mind so that I could try to study what do we need to do to correct it, because the corrections have been given, but we have tended to reject any truth because it's not our idea of how things should be, even though our idea ain't worked.
Yes. Okay. So now how important is family? I know it's important to you, and I know you already said it, but how important is family to the overall reproduction of the race?
Well, it's very important right now because our birth numbers are down. And I don't know if Black people realize that. They have offered us the abortion as a form of birth control. And so a lot of our younger women, they just get 3 or 4 abortions a year and use it for birth control because they're offered to us free. They're in our communities and a lot of things. And sometimes we don't even tell the men that we are pregnant. Or sometimes we'll go around to 3 or 4 men and tell them we're pregnant and need an abortion and collect $500 or $600 from each one of them. So we've done a lot of things about that. The structure of family has been so destroyed for us. It is really very sad. See, for many years, in fact, even right after slavery and during slavery, after slavery especially, we had more Black families, more Black men marrying Black women and women with the men than we have now, because we have changed our opinion of each other, and so many things have happened to tear down our moral compass. And so one of the other things that has happened is that the enemy couldn't come up with anything that would break up our families in a certain way. Okay, but when they came up with crack separated the mother from the cub. We had never had anything that separated the mother from her baby. Crack did that. And so when that broke up, then, now we're dealing with the grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren of the crack addicts, and they're traumatized. There are studies that say that when people are traumatized, it takes 17 generations to come up out of that trauma. That might be us. It may take us, as long as we were in slavery, it may take us that long to come up out of it. We haven't been free. It's been under 100 years. We don't have a big history to talk about having no freedom just because we got some football stars and basketball and Oprah and a few of those people. That doesn't mean that we're free, because a few of us have figured out how to make some money. Yeah. And so our families have been so torn apart, and we have been made to hate each other. And the other reasons is that every problem that the white woman has had with the white man, they have pushed those issues on us, or we have adopted those issues and decided that that was our problem too. When I keep saying we don't have nothing to do with the white woman and what she got going with her man. We trying to deal with our own. And as a result of our frustration and our anger, many of our men have left us to go to women of other nationalities because they feel like they can get along with them better. It's not because they're better women, but they haven't suffered the same kind of traumas that we have from childhood growing up, what we saw, what we did, and all of the things we had to go through. And so their mood is better. They ain't mad all the time like us. We be uptight. We have unrealistic expectations, and the unrealistic expectations has been our downfall. We have made up ideas about what a relationship and a husband or a man is supposed to be like. We don't mind having a man as long as he don't act like a man. We could be with him, but if he start coming up in that trying to give some instructions to say how he wants things and what we supposed to do, we go get everybody then. No, you trying to tell me what to do. Somebody need to tell us what to do. It's obvious we don't know what to do.
Yeah. That's okay. That's a perfect segue to my next question. Can you break down what everybody's role is? The man, the woman, and the child. Like, what is?
Well, I can't completely do that, but I can mention some of what the tactics that have been used to maintain a civilized society where the people have somewhat of freedom, justice, and equality, even inside the family. We keep talking, everywhere I go, people say that final thing, we just need to come together. We just need to get in unity. Well, most of us can't get in unity with the people we live with the people we've been with all our life. We can't get in unity with them. So that can't be the total goal. We're going to have forced unity. See, not getting along is a luxury. Being able to disagree, break up, make up, and all of that, that's a luxury. But there will come a time based on things that we all need to survive, and where we're going to need a man, where we're going to get past a whole lot of what we got going now. It's just going to fade away. Like Trump said, it's going to poof, it'll disappear. It's not going to be there. But for right now, the man's role would be to protect and provide. Now, when we say provide, that don't mean buy you every kind of weave you want that costs $800 or $900. It don't mean buy you every kind of Gucci and Fendi and Louis Vuitton. That ain't what provide me. He's going to provide direction and guidance, love, affection, discipline for our children, and help with all of those kind of things. Provide ideas. See, one of our problems as Black women is that we ain't got nothing to do. Other than work for white people, we don't have too much to do. I go to the church, and many of us treat the people at the church and the minister like we should be treating our man at home. So, we have it all mixed up. So those are some of the things that the man needs to do. He needs to not let women let us get away with things, because the moment we get away with sneaking a line, we really open it up and do that a lot more because we think we've got him tricked. And that's one of the reasons that so many Black women were angry with me for putting out the Black Man's Guide to Understand the Black Woman, because our men needed a heads up. And even with that, it's hard for them. But they just have certain information they don't have about us that keeps them confused and makes them reject us and go to someplace else. He's outside looking for peace of mind. Yeah, because we're not that familiar with peace. We're just familiar with getting dressed up and putting on eyelashes and, maybe even going to school. More of us are graduating from college. More of us are getting PhDs. We got good credit cards. We got a whole lot of things, cars, but it hasn't made us happy. We're still sitting around talking about why we don't have companionship, which is the ultimate goal. It don't have to be marriage. It can just be some good companionship, because we're alone. Yeah. So with our women, one of the first things we need to deal with is nutrition. Women historically have been assigned that duty and have accepted that role because food, as I said, is what sustains life. And eating the proper food, we can decide how long our men and our women live and our children. That's just what we feed them. And so eat out every day while it's convenient, because we're giving our all of our energy to the white people on the job. So when we come home, we're tired. And so it's easier to pick up McDonald's or some other kind of junk and bring it home and feed it to our children until our children get so accustomed to eating it that they don't even want good food. They don't want vegetables. I've had so many people over the years ask me, how do you get your children to eat vegetables? And I tell them, because they don't work, they don't buy no food, they don't fix no food, and they don't do any of that. I'm the one. Exactly. Then they daddy put the food on the table, and you teach them to eat that, but you have to keep them away from the sugar and so many things. It's a job. The farther away a woman works from home, the further away a woman works from home, the more the family suffers. That's the truth of how that goes. And so we, as women, our role needs to be satisfied with less. Stop trying to keep up with everybody else who don't own nothing, but try to buy everything that the enemy and the Asians make. We need to pull back some from that. We think that our men only like us for how we dress, or our eyelashes, or our fake breasts, or buttocks, and all of that. That's not what they're looking for in us. And so we keep them so sexually stimulated, overstimulated, that they don't have time to consider anything else about us, because we think that's the only way to get a man, and that's the only value that we have. We have other great values. We are the queen of the universe, the mother of civilization. And so we have other things to teach. This COVID virus has done something that I've been talking about for years. We're going to be forced to educate our own children, because it's crazy anyway. No, I've never heard of any people historically that turn their children over to the enemy to educate them. These people lie. They have lied on our history and accomplishments. They have lied over every contribution we have made, not just here, but worldwide. They have claimed everything we have ever created. And so why would we give our children to them? So somebody asked me, and they were telling me, I'm not taking that virus, that shot. I'm not taking the vaccine. I say, why not? You give your children to them. Okay, you eat their food. We do everything else that destroys us. So now all of a sudden we ain't taking the vaccine. Now I'm not taking it either, but then I haven't been on that other path. And so it's a very hard time for us. But our women need to lower their dress, stop going out naked, trying to get attention from strange men. Our women need to control their sexual drive, because we'll do anything, go crazy when we have that on us, And what a lonely woman won't do is just anything. So we need to pull that back some and come down from so much throwing sex on our men, so that they can have time to consider something else. They don't have the kind of discipline that'll keep them from going for that. So we need to be in the mother, the first one that touch all of the people on the earth. That's what a mother does. We need to set a different example. We need to start dressing our children more modest. You can't wait till your daughter get 14 to tell her to stop wearing halter tops and booty shorts. You can't do that. You got to start her when she's a tiny little child about being modest, you know, and how to dress. And so people say all the time to me, yeah, you talking all that old school. Now I'm talking about what worked, because what y'all got going is not working.
Yeah, facts. You know what? I'm looking at, I'm trying to I can't even keep up with all the comments that people are saying. They're like amen in you as you're talking. I don't know if you're able to see that, Miss Ali.
Nope, I can't see it.
Oh. Okay, well, you can watch it when you do the rerun. You'll be able to watch it.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. So it's okay. I'm gonna come back to that. So you talked a little bit about the diet. Well, and then you added some more onto the diet in terms of what, you know, we have to do in order to just take care of our families. Are there is there anything else, or is there any other reasons why, or how the diet is important just for our families to be okay?
Yeah, we can look around and see how it's important. Our women are overweight. We big and fat and try to convince somebody that looks good. Our men are overweight. Now you're talking about high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, heart disease. And so the stress of racism in this country already puts that on us. We're 17, 18 generations up from slavery. And as I said, that's why I wrote that book, Are You Still a Slave? To help us to understand that we're still practicing the same behavior. And we're not always forced to, but as long as we practice the same behaviors that we do and go for the things we go for, then the enemy understands that they still have control over us. The names, now that's something important. Most of us still carry the slave master's name. Our mothers didn't know any better. Our fathers didn't. Our grandparents didn't. And as I said, because the slave master took our names and culture from us during the slave enslavement process, we don't have to hold on to that. It's not an insult to my mother that I wanted my own name. She didn't know any better. She did what she knew. Well, now I'm doing what I know because I know more. I know better. I have a greater understanding of our condition and what it needs to be done to correct some of it. You know, but we need to stop using the slave master's name. We need to stop making up names. We got our own names all over the earth that we can use. You don't have to name your child Wanda Center. You know, we got all of this kind of stuff going on out there. You know, you don't have to name her Bridget. And a lot of things. We don't have to name our sons. I don't want to see another John or William. Okay? We don't need those. We don't need well, you know the names, just all of the silly stuff we're doing. We need to look into the history, since we're so eager to search what happened in Egypt or Kemet 5,000 or 6,000 years ago, which don't have no bearing on what we do today unless we can take those principles and turn them into success for us now. It don't matter what we know about what that was. They use certain set of principles. So we need to use that set of principles, and maybe we can make some progress like they did. But learning all of that, it's of no value. It has not worked that if we knew who we was, we would do better. That's not true. It's a lot of people who know the entire African history, and they can run it to you, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, here at Hopi, we are, that's a Hopi principle. Hopi is the ancient Egyptian name for the Nile River. And we are definitely creating the Nile River with everything that we're doing. So we are using history. We're using that principle of cooperative economics, you know, and that's what, yeah, exactly. You know, it's just like exactly what you're doing in terms of, you know, like we bringing you here so you can share your knowledge with everybody. And, you know, but I like your, you know, like, let's get up and do something. You know, so when you talk about the influence of like white folks and racism on us, do you think that it's affected each of us differently, like men and women, or do you think the effect has been the same? Like, do you think like go ahead.
You know, see, when you look at us here, some of us wear our hair different ways. Some of us wear jewelry different ways. Some of us dress different ways. That's because we come from a lot of different tribes. We didn't come from just West Africa. Okay. We come from a lot of places, and we bring those tribal ideas along with us deep within us. Okay.
Yeah.
And so some of us want to wear our hair in a lot of what we would think would be odd or wild hairstyles, when that's really just in us. That looks good to us. We think that that's the way to do it. But it has affected many of us in the same way. And it has affected many of us differently, as I said, because we come from different tribes. But we're not a different people. We all have the same certain attitudes. You know, we have let people tell us when we can wear certain colors. You know, you can't wear white after Labor Day. Why? Who said that? Who made that up? We don't know, but we go along with a lot of these rules
Yeah.
that other people made up. You know, and we have lived in a society where our man has been disenfranchised. We have run them crazy at home, and they've been around so many women. They grow up and talk like women and act like women. You know, when we dragging our son to the beauty parlor to get our hair braided, he got to sit in there and listen to women for 3 and 4 hours. Okay. When we take him over to our girlfriend's house and he got to listen to that. Well, see, a lot of that impacts upon his development. And there are some fathers who are unfit to be around their children or the woman or anybody else. But then there are a lot of other great fathers who are qualified to help nurture their child and co-parent, but we don't deal with them because we're mad at them. The child ain't mad.
So, so let's go there. So why do you think women, because, you know, I hear that you're saying a lot, you know, that women are doing, okay. And so I'm just trying to figure out, why do you think, how did we get there? Like, how did we get there? Like, we know how, because you're explaining how the man got there. I got that. Okay, it's from something that, you know,
but because this is how we were treated. We were treated as if we were just a piece of meat, just like they were. I'm the first person to put out there that the enemy didn't just rape the black woman, he raped the black man too. We wasn't talking about that. You know, but I try to bring information that maybe will help us see that we have a predisposition for certain kinds of other behaviors. Right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, our men have failed, and they have failed because they have not had the right leadership, but they have mostly failed because they have been denied the opportunity to provide for their family, like the white man through force was able to provide for his. See? And so, and in addition to that, after he being disenfranchised, then they taught us to demand certain things from him that the enemy has intentionally kept him from getting. So it's just a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's a trap. And we are into that because, you know, our attitude be, well, he ain't got nothing. So what? We ain't got nothing either. If the white man pull out from up under us, the only reason we got anything is because they've made more benefits and things available to us. And so it makes us think that we have risen up. We haven't risen up. They have allowed us to rise up so they can keep us separated from him, so it can make him look bad. And so we will think we're better than him.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like fake progress. So now, do you think that Black women see gender before they see race? And if so, why?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question.
So, like, do you think that, like, as Black women, do we identify with being women first, or do you think we identify with being black first?
Well, we used to identify with being Black first and having a Black man. But because of the women's liberation movement, now we try to identify as being female, and we got all of this here, you know, Black girls do this and Black women do that, you know, and we have not come up with a program as Black women that honors our men as much as we honor ourselves. Okay. It would not be us if it were not for him. Okay.
But how do we get us together if we don't honor us first, so that we can have something to then offer to somebody else?
Well, everything is just a decision. And when a lot of us hear the truth, we don't want to take that truth because it requires us to change and rearrange the fake values that we have been forced to accept, we think, to live out here. And many of us think that if we do that, that we will become ostracized. In order to rebuild our nation, you have got to be brave. You have got to step out on the truth. And we don't keep needing a God that we can love. We need a God that loves us. That's different. Okay? And once we accept that, then maybe we'll be able more to do what God has said he wants us to do. Now, God don't need no help. It don't matter if we do do right at all, because it's going to fall back on self. That's who we have been unjust to ourselves. And so we can set a better example. And just cooking. I talk about cooking all the time. I don't know how so many of us have missed that. Cooking food and invite somebody over for dinner. You have somebody at least for some company sometime, because most of our men are lined up every evening somewhere to buy some kind of filthy, greasy food because they don't have nothing to eat. I talked to a young brother the other day. He told me he don't even know no women that cook. Start with his mother. Yeah, you ain't surprised at that. In fact, many of our women don't cook, and they go around saying they think it's something to be proud of. I don't cook. They brag on it. Many of our young girls can't boil water, can't boil an egg, can't do anything, and they think that's cute because we don't have mothers in the community anymore as much teaching how to cook. We buy everything out. We don't know what we eat. Snails, raccoons, squirrels. We don't know how to identify meat. And the other thing, the problem that we have is that we do not have a food path. That's PATH, a food path. The Asians have a food path. They have their food imported in, their language is on there. We can't even read it. It ain't even for us. We don't even know what them cans and bottles say, okay? They have that. Even the Africans, the Arabs that are here, they bring their food in. They have made up a way to deal with the customs and to know how to bring food in. We don't know how to do that. You know, and certainly the white people, they getting food out of Germany and different other places, Russia. They getting there bringing food in. Well, where do we get our food from? And what food is that?
Yeah.
See, we don't have that. So we're totally dependent. The Hispanics, the Latinos, they bring their food in. They may bring it in from the islands, from Mexico or whatever. They bring their food in from Spain. The Greeks, everybody have a food path. We are the only people here who don't have one. So if the enemy, our open enemy, decide to stop feeding us, we'll starve to death.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that with COVID.
Yeah. We don't have any, it's a lot of basic things we have not done that any people who are trying to survive would ordinarily do. And then we want to come out here and think we should get the top man and that he should go along with any nonsense we practice just to have sex with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we think that's all we got. We think that's all we got.
Yeah. You know, when nothing's been poured into you, those are things that you think the only thing that you have going on. And if you look at TV, then you're just like, well, yeah, I guess I'm supposed to be doing this.
That's
so
right.
We got to bring it back. We got to take it back. So, you know, you touched a little bit about.
Some people have, and their life is better. Some women have, and some men have. Now, I know that our brothers are broken. Many of them have had such a hard time. You know, we don't even know what it's like to be a black man in America. They're hunted down like wild animals. And they are killed unjustly. It doesn't matter. You know, rather, it used to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, any place is the wrong time for our men. And because of the women's lib movement and the big mouth many of us have developed out here trying to talk and yell and jump up in men's faces, now the enemy treating our women like they treat our men. They throw them down, shoot them, anything. So we need to see these patterns and recognize that all that jumping up and down in church every Sunday morning ain't getting us nowhere. We ain't getting no benefit from that. It's just a play to go and let off steam. Let off stress, but it's not building what we need to build. Every black church in America should be donating money to educate 5 or 10 children in their communities. Absolutely. They have the money. Stop giving it to the preacher. He's a master pimp. Women look for a pimp. They want a man that tell them what to do. They just don't want no accountability with him. And so he's out there collecting the money up, living a high life when the people in the community are in need. We should be providing scholarships to help some of these children get into different kind of courses, not all just that kind of on paper education. You know, we need to have them to get into classes for car repair, refrigeration, automotive, air conditioning, plumbing, carpentry. It's a lot of things that a computer can't do.
Yeah. You know what? I keep telling my kids, I'm like, listen, you need to get this little vocational training because the amount of money you pay when something like the electricity goes down, the plumbing, like, yo, like, yeah, I'm definitely, yeah. So now, you touched a little bit about Black feminism. Is that a myth or reality?
Well, it's been a reality in our life, It has benefited white women. We've never had a sisterhood with white women. Black women and white women never got together because she still resists the fact that back in the day, their men wanted us over them. They were just used for breeding. If they could have a baby, then that could keep them going because white can only mix with white and make another white. Okay. And let me see, what's this, 20? Probably by 2050, the white people are going to be the minority in America. They're going to find out what minority means. Now, that's going to cause a real overhaul in the government because if they are the minority, then they don't have a right to control the Senate and the Congress and every other political office, unless it's just based on the fact that they're white. And so we're going to all have to come to face with that. I probably won't be here to see it, but some things are going to change. And also, as I mentioned about that birthing, we are behind in birthing. Okay?
Yeah.
We need, so we shouldn't get on these young people who are having these children, what we think is before they married or before they developed or whatever it is, If a woman is 18 or up, she can have a baby if that's what she chooses to do. Now, life may be a little harder, but life gonna be harder anyway. It might be hard being at home and having to get welfare, but it's equally hard to sit up in them white boardrooms and have them white men touch all over you and hold you down because you Black. All of it's hard for us. Ain't no soft place in America for Black men and Black women.
Yeah.
See?
Amen.
And so as a result of that, we need to be having these babies. Everybody's outbirthing us. The Latinos, they've already outbirthed us. It's more of them than us. We're sliding down the pole. Okay? Now the white people are dying out because the Blacks done ran through them white girls like Granny and Richmond. They just impregnated all of the white young women. And so now you have what you call it biracial. But there ain't no category called biracial. The category is Black and non-Black. White, non-white. That's the only category.
Man, okay, you touching on all my next questions, but wait, it's like, oh, you're giving me a little bit of something. Okay, now, so let's talk about the TVs and movies. How do you think that the music that we're listening today and the TV shows and all that stuff, how's it shaping Black relationships?
Well, it is because first of all, it's looking at TV has made us think that that's how relationships go. Looking at all of those little shows, growing up with them. We think that that's how our relationship's supposed to work, some kind of fairy tale, but we are not counting the fact of our repression and hatred and everything we have suffered in this country, lack of identity, lack of our God, lack of our morals and the destruction and perversion of everything we ever believed in and stood for. We weren't slaves when they captured us. They enslaved us. They turned us into slaves. And so we were not a bad people. We still a good people, which is why we share everything we got and forgive and love the enemy. We still a good people. We need to stop teaching our children to love their enemy. Okay? So as a result of that, then you have all of the Black people trying to emulate the pictures we've seen of them and trying to do, we think if that's how you do it, they've been our role models. They are standard for beauty, everything. This is who these people have been. And so we think if we can be like them, that will make us successful. It will not. We have that PTSD, post-traumatic stress. We have it. All of us have it. Not one or two of us. Some of us acted out more because of their environment and their situation. But all of us are suffering from that. It makes it hard. And so I have suggested that when people get together, it don't have to be for no long-term relationship, but that they need to talk about what slavery has done to us. It ain't nothing back in the day. It's right now. They're not killing us back in the day. It's right now. So we could discuss those things and talk about all of the obstacles that are going to come up to keep us apart. That's why I got put down. So the enemy not going to let nobody put the Black man and Black woman back together. Okay? I hate that I say okay.
no, I mean, I like that you say okay. I'm like, I'm just,
It's not good. I gotta stop saying that. But at any rate, they're not going to allow that. And so consequently, I was on TV every day, all day in every state around the world until a lot of Black people started having meetings about how to get along, how to improve their families. And once they saw what I was talking was working. That's back in 90, 91, 92. They took me off because they're not going to let nobody teach that. And free your mind. Your mind got to be free before anything else.
Yeah,
and that don't mean go out and hate nobody. That means love yourself more than anybody else. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with loving yourself. That's not being selfish. It's just being wanted to preserve the goodness in us, the blackness in us. And as I said, a lot of our men are crippled, but we raised them up like that. They didn't grow up and get crippled. They was crippled as a little boy when we was running them. Okay?
Yeah, but we
have got to do that differently.
We were crippled too. Yeah, we were crippled too. You know,
I already mentioned that, sister. You and me getting ready to have a real conversation because I hear you. Okay?
No, I don't want a real conversation.
It won't be long now.
I don't want. No, I don't want a real conversation.
It won't be long. Okay.
But let's. Okay, so now wait. I just got to take a wait.
Right.
Okay, wait. I just got to take a little break, a little commercial break. Just tell everybody, listen, guys. I appreciate you guys in the Cash App. And because things are going so quickly here, I wasn't able to shout out everybody who gave a Cash App. I mean, a super chat. But I thank you guys very, very much for for this. And I don't know if you if I don't think I even told you, Miss Ali. We're gonna, for one lucky person, we're going to just buy one of all of your books and send to them. And so you wonderful. Guys, yep. So the first person that emails me, now look, this is the thing, guys. You guys have to email. This is the email, but you have to email 5 things about Shahrazad Ali in the email. 5 things that are true.
That, now y'all gonna get ridiculous. Yeah. My books are available on eBay, y'all. Just go get the books there. Don't go for that, because I'm not anybody. I'm not important enough. I'm not anybody that great. So don't put that on me that they got to give you 5 things about me. Talk about the books.
Okay, well, but this is the thing. Every time when someone comes in to have books, we always try to give out their books. And that's the other piece. Somebody else I did see on there said that they couldn't find your book online. It's not on Amazon. Go to eBay. Let me put this back up here, guys.
Right.
You have to go to eBay. Yeah, to get it.
Yeah, because Amazon robbed you so bad. So I'm gonna try the other white people and see how they do. Because Amazon is terrible.
Yeah, every single author says that. Every single author says it about Amazon. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to keep this up for you guys right there. Go to eBay. She has a bunch of books, a bunch. They're not all written up here.
Yeah,
but that's
let me
why
tell them the books. Now, let me tell them the books. I have The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. That's a book that should be read by the Black woman first. Okay. And then I have the Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man, which is really my greatest book. I think you need to read that so that you'll know who you are and really what the deal is for our men and our women. And then I have Are You Still a Slave? That important test book that'll bring you back to reality about how you acted. Negroes think they black if they wear dreads and all of this nonsense. That your costume don't make you black. Okay. All right. I'm saying okay too much again. So you have that, and then Things Your Parents Should Have Told You. Great book for your children when you can't reach them. Give them this to read. Maybe that'll help them get into being an adult. And Urban Survival, which we're going to need because, as I said, we don't have a food pass. And when they close the store, we are out. You can't eat them sneakers, all that Gucci bag and Chanel. You can't eat that. You're not going to get any money for it, okay? And then you can have How Not to Eat Pork, A Life Without the Pig.
Yes.
Yeah, at one time, a lot of our people had got off of pork. Okay, maybe in the 80s some. But they have made it so enticing to our people. We think eating chitlins and any other kind of filth from the pig is part of our culture. It is a part of our bad culture. We were forced to eat that. We didn't pick that.
Yeah.
This is what we had. This is all they threw away that we had to eat if we were going to get some protein. This is what we had. So we need to stop acting like that and talking about, my grandmama, she lived to be 90 and she was eating the pig and everything. Yeah, she might have, but she probably was half crazy and had all kind of medical problems. We talk about mental, what it does to your brain, not just what it does to your stomach. We're talking about the terror that it creates in us that makes us hate each other and want to kill each other, our own kind, and kill our babies. All right, separate from our parents. It's a lot of things and behaviors we do, and we think it's just a decision we made. It's not a decision we made. It's because we got a lot of mental problems that we have not addressed or accepted.
Yeah. 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 I remember my mother stopping pork in our house. Oh gosh. And she was like, some woman said we ain't supposed to be eating it. And it wasn't until years later that I figured out that she was the woman that said we shouldn't be eating it.
Yeah.
But I remember she shut it down.com. Yep. She shut it down.com. Yeah. She was like, we're not doing this. Yep. And even, the story for another time. Anyway. All right. So you talked a little bit, and you know what? You said you don't want to use okay, and I don't want to keep saying, I know you talked a little bit about this, but when you talked about the television, have you noticed that, like, what are your thoughts that now it's just like a barrage of just black and white couples that are on TV commercials? Like there's not that many commercials that we're seeing that has like a black family on.
Well, we don't really see a lot of black images and families in that way. What we see is black people acting like white people. And that's how they'll put them on. Okay, we see that. We see them practicing the ideas and behaviors of the enemy. Television is teaching our children homosexuality. It's giving them certain options. It's teaching them about a bad diet. It's teaching them that animals talk. Yeah. See, I didn't raise my children on books with animals talking. All my grandchildren or any of that. And I'm getting ready to be a great grandmother, and he ain't getting no books on with talking animals either, because animals don't talk unless it's a parrot or something. Okay. And we don't want our children running up to a stray dog, a vicious bear animal, because he think they're gonna talk to him. When you teach a little child, whatever you teach them, they believe that.
Yeah.
So we talk about the miseducation of our children, and I talk about it too. But the truth is, we miseducate our own children. By the time any black child is 3 years old, they can recognize McDonald, Superman, Batman, and a slew of other nonsensical characters that are not based on no reality in their life. We need to be teaching them that it's not officer friendly. That's not the way it is for you.
Absolutely not. Oh God, that's old school officer friendly. So now, in terms of welfare, how do you think that's impacted the black family?
Well, they have always offered some kind of welfare to Americans. When they give it to the white family, it's called subsidy or a grant. When they give it to us, they put the negative tone on it that it is a welfare. They let the white family stay together. The farmer's wife or the inner city wife, they keep them together. Their whole goal right now, is they claim, is to keep a family together. They're talking about white families. All right. But in our side of the neighborhood, they forced us to get rid of our men in order to get welfare. That was a terrible thing to do. Our men had to, if the social worker was coming and they would come to the projects unannounced, our men had to get under the bed, get in the closet. He's just been demeaned and just been treated like he was nothing in order for us to live and to eat and feed the children. The depression that our men have had over the years, it's just, you can't even count it. And I have mentioned that I wanted black men especially, but black women too, to have a moratorium on the hatred that we have for our fathers, all of us. Because times are hard now for a black man to try to work and pay child support, his car note and insurance and his rent. Times are hard now for many of our men to do all of that, even if they're working. But imagine what it was like back in the day and people had the same needs and he didn't have no way to get nothing. Maybe he was working for a quarter a day. Maybe. He didn't have anything and didn't have anywhere to go. Completely defenseless. The only person been on the black man's side is God. Because we certainly haven't. Most of us, not all of us. But the example we have set. And I can't speak in absolutes. And I'm not going to try to talk about black men and black women in the same voice, sister. So we don't have to come with the comment, well, we have been through that too. I'm not talking about us now. I'm talking about him. He is the head of our nation, not us. That's why they had to attack him and keep him down. He is the best man on the earth. The only one that God gave to us. Even in his pitiful condition now, he's better than all of the other men.
Absolutely.
He's the most beautiful.
Yes.
He's the most beautiful.
Yes.
You know he's the finest.
And he got the swag. Listen, I say it all the time. There's no black men, the walk, all of it. Oh, I love it.
Well, that's a good idea, but that's face value. We got to watch that because he can't feed us with how he walk. You know, he's got to be free in his mind in order to know how to make a living. But he is fine. Yeah. He is fine. Yeah. He is gorgeous.
Confidence. It's
and he
brought
us. Well, that's false bravado because everything has been taken from him but that. Yeah. So he got to walk around like he's bigger and got more or better than he is. Because if not, what would he do, sister? What would he have? Nothing. Yeah. All right. Yeah. He hated by everybody. His mama hated, his woman hated, his children hated, the Christian hated, the job hated. See? That's a hard life for anybody to try to survive up under. Yeah. And many of them have become introverted. They half crazy out of their mind. As I said, we all got PTSD. Yeah. Some of us can handle it differently. We have a different support system for us, and it makes us think that we came up on our own. But as I said, we didn't come up on our own. Most of us, if we didn't get help from the enemy, and he don't give our man the same help he give us. So true. Okay. That makes us his woman. We the enemy's woman. We married to the government. Because they give us the food stamps. They give us Medicaid. They give us Section 8. They give us welfare. That's our husband. And that's how they want it. And so we have to overcome that and decide to get with one of them that makes some sense. Now we're going to get to the part y'all don't want to hear. We're going to have to practice non-possessive loving.
That's my next question. That's my next question.
Men are going to have to take responsibility. Yeah, no, you don't want the answer to that. But men are going to have to take responsibility for more than one woman and her children. Most men got more than one child. Okay? A man shouldn't have to neglect all the rest of his children because he with you and me. Yeah. He shouldn't have to reject them. I know sisters that don't let their man's children come to their house. Oh, yeah, that goes on in a lot of places. I know women who won't let him acknowledge them, don't want your children to meet. Children don't have no problem with that. They'd be happy to meet their other sisters and brothers. That's us tripping like that. Yeah. We got people who don't want him to take our children over to his other woman's house if we break up with them. We even got women that go with somebody else and still won't let our men be involved. We got this thing completely mixed up if we are talking about trying to raise a better child. Now, when we talk about our own emotional situation and our own emotional condition, we are totally nuts about most of it because of our insane jealousy. And until we overcome that and recognize with the shortage of not just available black men, but capable black men. Yeah. All right. You have two choices. And I keep telling sisters that you can be the woman or the other woman. You ain't gonna be both. You're gonna pick one and stay in your lane. Live that life and it'll be good. Truth be told, I keep telling y'all, don't no woman want no man on her feet all the time, every day and every night anyway. We could give up a couple of days to somebody else. We wouldn't even miss it. I'm busy. Okay? A lot of us are busy. I don't have time for that. And most women don't want that. We do that. We claim we want that because we're trying to keep up with him. Make sure we know who on his phone, who on his Facebook, who on his Instagram. It's nonsense. And it's costing us our children who want their daddy. And it's costing us to grow up and have daddy hunger. All of us want our daddy. Yeah. All of us want our daddy. You know, they put that brother that's on that bachelor program, they put him on there with his father the other night. Yeah. And it was very sad because his father had not been with him. And so he was talking to him about he wasn't there and what it did to him and everything. But as I say, we need to have a moratorium on that. So many of our men, LeBron James, Shaq, all of them, they hate their father because they've been taught that, usually by their mothers, because she gave them a perspective. If daddy didn't show up, we might just have the attitude, oh, he didn't make it this time. But we tell the child, yeah, he'll never come over here to see you. Yeah, I knew he was going to do that. I'm sorry he's disappointing you. We give them a perspective on certain things that happen in our life with our men that turns them negative against their fathers. And that's wrong. We should not do that because it harms the child. And most of us, whatever we know about our father was told to us by our mother. And she mad because their relationship didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's a prejudice against him from the beginning. He does more for our children than pay child support. And we do need money to live, but many of us don't have to live as high as we live. You know, we make these demands. We want our children. We don't want to wear just Gucci. We want our children to wear Gucci. We want to dress our children like the people that's rich. We keep trying to live like we're rich and like we have arrived. We not only ain't arrived, we are just standing still. We ain't going nowhere with the ideas we have.
Yeah. I mean, my head's hurting because I've just been doing this all the time since you've been talking.
You know, the things that I teach, I teach reality. That's all I can tell you. I teach reality. Because we living in what is called the imagination of truth. We imagine things a certain way. We imagine that there's some black man somewhere that ain't gonna love nobody but us. Oh, even though y'all study history, there is no history of no black man on the earth in the Bible, in the Torah, in the Quran. There ain't no history of them just loving one woman and being with her their entire history. So if that don't exist, why do we keep wasting time trying to find that mystery God? It's not there. If it was there, I would have it. Y'all tell me. It's not there. Okay? And if he loves somebody else, that don't mean he don't love us. Look at it how we love our children. We love each one of them equally. There's no best one. He's not with us just for sex. That's just usually what we offer him, so that entice him in. But when that happens, after that, he's ready to keep going.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We don't try to work things out. We want to be demanding. We want an account of every second he's away from us. He's not our slave. He's trying to stop being a slave to the white man. We want him to be a slave to us next. That's not how it's going to work. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And he has to have self-control. He has to not practice fornication and adultery. But there are many men in America who love more than one woman. And he certainly loves all of his children. He's forced away from them because he can't financially support them. But they need more than financial support.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He need way more than that. And a woman will be criticized if she let her baby's daddy see the children, his child, if he ain't giving her no money. It can't just be based on that. That's what they told us. As I said, they make us demand things from him that they keep him from getting. Do you see how that works? That doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, this is sick. All of this whole circle that you talked about, it's just sickness.
But we have the power to change it. We have the power to change it.
Next question.
Everything we want from our men costs money. Everything they want from us just costs us to have a better attitude or a smile. That don't cost us nothing, but we withhold it because it don't go like our fairy tale version of how the relationship's supposed to go. We are sick people. It ain't just him that's got problems. We got problems too. And we the mother. Like I say, we have them before anybody. So if we want a better man, we have to raise a better man. We're working for the future. Because working for the present, we ain't making no progress.
So, what do we do now with, in terms of politically, socially, and economically? What is some practical things that we can do based on your reality? That's
what I've been talking about I've been talking about practical things the whole show. But we could start eating better food. We could start preparing meals for some of our men who don't have food. You know, if we hungry, we can go to our girlfriend house and go in the refrigerator and say, girl, what you got? I'm hungry. Fix me something. They don't have that option to go to no other man house and say, what you got, man? Open the refrigerator. Most of them don't even have no refrigerator. So they don't have the same option that we have. So we can start preparing food for our men and invite one or two of men every once in a while to eat food. If you do that, he'll show up. Because he's going to show up and say, what you cooking?
Yeah.
He'll show up for the meal because that's what they want. They can't even function normally because they got bad nutrition.
Yeah.
And that's something we can be in charge of. We could start dressing our little girls better. Stop dressing our little girls like little whores. Teaching them that that's all that they have. And we need to stop putting weaves in our little girls' hair. The hair they got is fine. Every time we put all that weave in our hair and put on all of them eyelashes and all of that foolishness, we're teaching our little black girls that they are not good enough. And that the only way they can be accepted is by wearing something fake and false made by another culture, like the Asians are the enemy. So that's something we could do. Bring them back to reality. And then we can take all the white dolls out of our house, take all the white pictures off of our wall. Those are little things we can do. We can start maybe trying to help him with his clothes so that he can have clean underwear and clean socks. That doesn't mean you acting like a wife. Every relationship is a marriage. Every relationship, not just between men and women, between two women, two men. Anytime you're in any kind of relationship, friendship or whatever, it's a type of marriage. Marriage is just a unit where the two people are working for the good of each other. And so we could do those kind of things. We could take some of that money that we spending on these elaborate trips and a lot of things and go to one of the foster care homes and take a child every weekend. You know, there's a lot of things that we can do because, as I said, we could go and learn knitting, anything, because we don't have nothing to do. And as a result of not having nothing to do, all we want to do is dress up and go to the club and act like some other kind of whore. We need to stop the twerking. Don't allow our girls to participate in that. We need to teach our boys that they don't have to wear their pants down showing their buttocks. Nobody wants to see that. That's just a civilization tactic. We could teach our boys how to talk. Most of them can't carry a conversation, can't nail a picture on the wall, can't change a tire. We could get them involved with different kind of classes and organizations that would teach them some of the manhood things. Because we can't make no man. We can birth one, but we cannot make no man. I'm going to tell you, we can't even make a woman. Look at the condition of our girls. We ain't doing good at that. So I know we can't make no man.
Yeah.
You know, so it's little things. It ain't no big thing. I'm not telling nobody go join no group. You know, we can shop at a black place once a week. We can buy from a vendor on the street. We act like we shame of the vendors. That's how the enemy started out, selling on the street in the trading post. It's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can buy something from them. Try to keep that money among us sometime.
Yeah.
If you got to hire somebody to do something, find somebody black to do it and try to share with them.
Yeah.
We have jealousy of each other, of who gonna make the most money and who gonna do this and do that. We have all of that we have to overcome before we can make any progress. But those are little things that we can do right now.
Yeah.
Stop thinking that we have to have the most expensive thing. Put our boys in a flat bottom shoe so that they'll learn to walk in a man's shoe instead of just a sneaker. That's why they treat them like boys, because they dress like boys. So there's some things we can do. And I know a lot of us, our attitude is that, well, I can't find no man. It's men out there. It just may not be the kind we done made up in our mind. Yeah, because we have this certain idea of what we think we deserve. And what we think we should have and how it should be. Well, things are only right to a certain extent. We are living in the hell, the wilderness of North America, and 99% of everything out here is wrong.
Yeah.
So you have to carve out your niche. As I said again, stay in your lane and build and do good from there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I got nothing. I don't have any more questions. You
I
know,
know you ain't. I know you ain't.
no, you know what? Wow. You know, I did. Well, just one question. How many kids do you have? You in the beginning you were talking and you said your kids. I was just curious as to me how many kids you have.
No, I never say kids. My children. I
Your
have
children.
3 children that I birthed, and my husband has 9 others, so I have 12.
Okay, that's what's up.
Now he's dead. My husband passed. My first husband
Mhm.
passed in 1985, and
Okay.
my second husband passed in 2009, I think, or 10.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
you know, and I had 2 successful marriages. I had 2 good men. Most women don't get one. One died from a heart attack, and the other one died from
Mm,
lung cancer. And
mm.
so you know, it's hard because I know that good men exist. We
Yeah.
help make the man good. And I'm
Yep.
not talking about by giving him all our money and all of those kind of things, but we can make a man or break a man.
Yeah.
And they have that power over us in a certain way. You
Yeah.
know, as I said, we all have this. And if we can talk about these things, you know what slavery has done to us. We're going to be fighting against the world to try to do anything. You know, let's
Yeah.
don't surrender our children to the enemy. He ain't going to
Yes.
do nothing but raise them to be perverted and teach them to hate us.
Mm.
So there's a lot of things, you know, and all of this voting foolishness. Now you got, you know, we're dealing with this vaccine. I don't believe anything they say because they have lied to us for 475 years or more. And so it's
Yeah.
hard to believe that now they finally got something good and they want to share with us. That's win.
It's just weird. Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And you know,
Exactly. So, you know,
yeah, and
those are just
people,
some of the things. And I know, as I said, when I said officer friendly, you say I'm going real back. Well, I come from real way. I come from way
yeah,
back. That's how I know what
yeah,
we've been doing. Don't nobody have to tell me about the other people we've had because I was there. And I know
yeah,
what was happening. And I know our condition then, which is how I know it's just about the same right now. So
yeah.
I want your people to read some of my books. So read all of them. Go to eBay and read that for yourself. I get letters and emails every day about how they have helped people. Not because I'm great, but because God has used me to bring certain information that will benefit and help our people. This ain't
Yeah.
nothing trendy. All right. And they say I'm
Mhm.
talking old school. I'm talking what worked. Because what we're doing now is not working. And nobody has a new idea about how to make it work other than to describe the problem. We know
Yeah.
we got a problem, but we got to try to fix it. And we got to start with one thing. You don't have to revamp your entire life. Just do one thing and it will improve our nation.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And
I'm trying not to
it'll
shake my
give,
head.
yeah, it'll give us something to do. As I said, part of our problem is that we keep looking around for something to do, and everything we got to do is among the 38 million black people in this country. That's where the work is. You know, go
Yeah.
to the library, start a reading group, read to the children, get 2 little girls in your neighborhood, teach them how to bake a cake because they don't know. They don't know how to set the table. These are civilization tools. These are skills that our young people need to know so that they can pass it on. What do they have to pass it on? What do they have to pass on? Jay-Z? What do they got? Beyonce out there naked, shaking her behind in front of the world, in front of her daughter. What do we have to pass on? Unless we pick up the skills that we use to civilize the entire world.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't easy, sister. I know it wasn't easy.
No, because no, I'm trying to listen. As you're talking to me, people keep texting me and they're like, stop shaking your head because all I'm doing is like this. So I guess it looks odd. So I'm trying to keep a straight face, like, oh, like this. No, this wasn't her. No, because listen, I so appreciate you for saying these things because, you know, that's why I'm working with Hoppy. That's why Takeed's working with Hoppy because the way,
Right.
like you said, it hasn't been working. So what can we do to make it work now? And
Right.
our platform is about having discussions and like real things. That's why at the end I always ask, like, what can we do right now? You know, and you gave a
Yes.
bunch of stuff.
Right.
And listen, I have to attribute you for me not having pork in my body because my mama said
That's
some
right.
woman on TV
That's
said,
right.
don't eat the pork, you know? And so I appreciate you. I so much
I'm doing
appreciate
well.
you.
I'm doing
You
well.
know,
That's
and
good. Yeah. And
yeah,
I
and
appreciate y'all and the work you're doing.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get a
everyone.
lot of requests for interviews. I get tons of requests, but I don't do every interview. I pick out very carefully which one I think is a market that can understand the truth and who are intelligent enough to be able to embrace the information that I'm talking. We need to stop being so selfish and be more unselfish for our own kind.
Yeah.
And, we earn our blessings. You start living right, your life will change. You'll have more purpose. And I ask people all the time, what do you stand for? Not what is your education and your job. What do you stand for? What is your calling? What is your purpose in life? It's a lot of work to be done that we need to get busy and start doing it.
Yeah.
Because we already see nobody else is going to do it.
No, we are the ones that we've been waiting on.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. We have that's from Infudishi Jahutimes. He comes he's in our he's in Hoppy, but he's come on the show, and when he said that, I was like, oh my God, that is so right. And so I just keep saying that. It's like we are the ones that we've been waiting on. So I appreciate you coming in here. And I also some of these books I didn't know. There's two of them I didn't hear from you, so I can't wait to get it. The Are You a Slave? I don't know how I missed that book. Yeah, let me just put that up for everybody.
Are you still a slave?
Are you still a slave?
Are you still a slave? Right. We've been one. But listen, I want to thank you and Taki for inviting me on. I have enjoyed this, and I think that maybe you have learned some things that you can use in your life. Absolutely. And I hope that your viewers can. And send me a copy of this tape. I try to keep a copy of everything so that when people go back and say I said something I didn't say, I can go check it. So send me a copy of the show.
Yes, and you know what? And I have to say I got to thank King Simon, who's on here too, for hooking us up together. So that's because a lot of times people out here, like, they'll get somebody and you're like, oh, can I get the information? And all of a sudden you can't find them. They don't know. Oh, I don't know. They just appeared on the show. So I really appreciate him, for I
love that brother. He's a good brother, and I love New York, and New York loves me. So I love to go there, and I have a good time when I go to New York. In fact, as soon as they bacteria and virus and everything subsides, I'll be in New York probably sometime late summer.
Oh, okay. You got to come by. We're gonna start doing our theatrical tour and touring around. So we would love to we have to get up with you. Yeah. You're in Cincinnati now. I'm from Detroit. So we just right a little Midwest. Yeah.
But I thank you again. I thank you for inviting me. Our time is up. I'm gonna wait, okay?
I'm gonna put you in the. Oh God! See, you keep it 100 real all the time. That's right there. So look, I'm gonna put you in the green room. Just wait one little second. I'm gonna close out the show and be right with you. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. Look, I am trying not to just keep shaking my head like this. Thank you, everybody, for contributing to our Cash App and contributing through Super Chat. Please, guys, go to eBay and get this sister's books. Okay, she named like 6 books. Go to eBay. Forget Amazon.com. Right there, eBay, and pick up her books. They will change your life. Don't forget, you can go to Hoppy Film. You can get our DVD. You can get a digital download and watch it right now if you want to. But I just want to thank everybody for not only coming early, but just supporting Hoppy. So until next time, and remember, next week we have Dr. Wade Nobles, and the following week we will have Dr. Renoko. Whoa, my headphones came out. Sorry. Next week, we will have Dr. Renoko Rashidi, the last week of March. And next week, we'll have Dr. Wade Nobles. So thank you, guys, and peace and Black family love.
I don't know what we can talk about in this nation without talking about white superiority, honestly.
Who defines the meaning of God also defines the relationship between economy and God.
African Americans spent $1.3 trillion last year, making us the 16th wealthiest nation in the world. Why have we not turned those riches into wealth to develop our community?